Lisa's losing it, and you have no idea how accurate that statement is right now. But it is a beautiful day here today. It's cool enough to have the windows open, so you might hear the birds, you might hear the wind chimes. You will most likely hear the cat complaining that he's starving to death, because, he's a cat. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about some updates. Yes, I've got some updates. Um, First, because it's driving me absolutely insane. My APAP update uh, is that after a few weeks now, I, yeah, I became extremely frustrated. I think it was Monday night. Um, because I have tried everything. I have tried everything, and I'm so frustrated because I want to make this work and because I should be able to make this work. This should be easy. This should not be a difficult thing to do, right? But after a couple of weeks, I'm having no luck with this thing. None. Zip zero zilch. I I'm either pulling it off after, an hour and a half or after 2 hours. That was the longest I went. Or just over 2 hours is the longest that I've managed to go. I changed out, I told you I changed out the face thing for the nose pillow one, and moderately better, but I still was running into an issue. So when I spoke to my brother-in-law, he told me that what made it easier for him was to take it off of the auto ramp and just have it go full on. Okay, that doesn't work for me. Um, what I've discovered is that the cat really likes the tripod right now. What I've discovered is that um, the inhaling is not an issue. It's not great. I am not having fun. And I feel like I'm complaining and whining, but I'm not having a good time with this because to me it is still warm, moist air that smells like plastic. And I am not enjoying this experience. But after sitting with it, I mean, literally sitting with it and going, okay, this has to work. I have to do this. I realized that when it's waking me up is when I'm trying to exhale, because the force of the air in it is so high, okay, that it wakes me up because I'm having trouble exhaling. What? Yeah. Okay, so that's my simple explanation for this. Oh my gosh. So I tried a few different things. I set it so instead of being on auto or just automatically on, it has this timer on it, 5, 10, 25, 35, 45. So it goes up to 45 minutes. And if I'm understanding it correctly, when I put it on and paid attention to it, that means it's not ramping up to the between the 7 and 13 that it's supposed to be at for 45 minutes. It's giving me air to breathe, but it's not giving me that resistance, right? Okay. But after that 5, 10, 15, 45, whatever, because I've tried them all, then it ramps up fast enough that it's giving me resistance, which is what wakes me up and makes me pull it off my face while I'm sleeping. Because legitimately last night, I have no idea when I took it off, and I was extremely disappointed to discover that I took it off shortly after an hour. But last night was a whole different story. So I don't know why I pulled it off last night, because last night I said, okay, we're going to put this on auto. And I paid attention to it. And what auto did was apparently it doesn't kick in until I need it. Okay. Oh, I thought this was supposed to make your sleep better. I'm telling you that Monday I got 4 hours of sleep. This is not the week for that. And I'm having a lot of trouble with this. I'm just having more trouble than it should be. So I got on the phone yesterday, and I talked to the bariatric clinic, who reiterated the fact that I have to be compliant with this before my surgery. And they said, talk to your doctor. I talked to my doctor, and she said, well, your insurance didn't cover titrating, right? I said, I don't know. Nobody suggested that I go for titration. I don't even know what titration is. It's probably an over-glamorized word for something very simple, but whatever. And so basically it's another sleep study where I take my machine in with me. I said, no, and this isn't going to work because, are you ready? Are you ready for the really great news? I got a phone call Monday. I have a date. I have a date for my surgery. It is September 21st. I have a date for my surgery. Yes. Okay. So I have a couple of appointments before that. I already had a scheduled appointment to virtually meet with my dietitian at the end of this month, which I was going to ask her for a copy of the pre-op diet, just to wrap my head around it, make sure I had everything I needed, and so I'm still going to have that meeting because I wanted it. But then I'm meeting with her again in person for the pre-op diet, specifically. I don't know, sometime mid-August. And I am meeting with the surgeon mid-August. So those are both appointments that I have to drive to. Now, the nice part is the surgeon is actually coming up a little bit closer to me, to a hospital that's about an hour and a half away. So instead of making the trip all the way down to 2 hours, I'm the hour and a half away, and it's good. Anyway, so I'm meeting with him prior to, all of that. And then the surgery is the 21st of September. If I can get the APAP machine to work. So last night, so anyway, we bounced back and forth with the phone calls. And she's like, call the bariatric clinic. She goes, and if they can push through a titration, have them do it. If they can't, then call me back and I'll do it. She goes, I can get it done for you. I said, I don't have time for this. My surgery is the 21st of September and I don't want to lose it. So I don't want to try to schedule in a sleep study that's going to take 2 months to get me on the books. She goes, I will find a way to push it through. Okay, great. So, I called the bariatric clinic. They said to call the doctor. I have an appointment with her next week anyway, but I'm going to try to push through this. I was so cranky and so tired on Monday and so just frustrated. I'm like, this should not be the hardest part about this entire process. So the fact that it was sprung on me late, okay, and then that it's mandatory when I was under the impression it wasn't. And my doctor said that, she goes, your OSA, which is obstructive sleep apnea, she goes, your OSA number is really low. So literally after this surgery, she goes, it makes no difference if you use this. I said, well, there's no qualms about it. I will not be putting this on my face after my surgery. But prior to the surgery, I have to find a way to make this work. And I don't know if I can get my husband to suck it up and wear it for me. So, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. So I'm still riding the struggle bus with this. So if anybody has a ResMed machine and can give me any pointers or tips on how to get past the moist, warm air that smells like plastic. I had the air conditioning set on morgue level a few days ago when it was super hot and humid out, and just hoping that it would cool off the air a little bit, Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I'm literally to the point where I'm trying to figure out how to strap this thing to my face in such a way that I have no choice but to physically get up out of bed to unglue it from my face. There's got to be a way for me to do this because I have to be compliant. No, there's no out on this. I have to be compliant. And it just frustrates me because if my OSA is that low, then this is just unnecessary. We know that it's happening then because of my weight. We know whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm still riding the struggle bus with that. And I don't want to keep talking about it. I'm desperate to not talk about it anymore, actually. But I am very excited about having a date. I am super stoked about having a date. I'm going to focus on the good and then just triple up my efforts to try to make this work. Mm-hmm. I take like, what's it called? Like Excedrin PM. It's the store brand. I've been taking those for over 2 years now to sleep at night because I wasn't falling asleep, staying asleep. Because I work. When I get stressed, I end up trying to fix the world's problems instead of sleeping, you know. If I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to use the bathroom or something, I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep because my brain would automatically kick into how can I solve this problem at work. And at the time, there were a ton of problems at work. So to tell you that that is no longer an issue with the problems, I didn't take the pills for 2 nights in a row, but I was so tired that I slept fine without them. But I remember waking up and trying to solve problems that I had when I was at that job. And I'm like, I'm not at that job anymore. I don't need to solve those problems. They're not my problems anymore. But managed to put myself back to sleep. It's it's an emotional roller coaster ride. It absolutely is. And again, it shouldn't be. This should be the easier part. This should not be the difficult part. So, I'm very happy to have a date. It's in my calendar in big bold letters. I'm setting up my friend to come down and let the dogs out while Phil takes me there and, you know, comes back and then picks me up and comes back. I'm getting everything that I need. I ordered on Amazon. I ordered a plate and utensil set for bariatric patients, and I ordered these colored, I'll put links down below so you can see them, but these colored cups that measure out how, you know, a cup, half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. And if it fits in that and closes, then that's how much food that is, you know, so it measures out your food very precisely for you, which I thought was awesome, and easier than measuring cups. And as I say that, it's kind of ridiculous, but you know. And then I also ordered my for my keychain a little clip that says I am a bariatric patient, because medical things may, you know, they need to know that. Nobody around here reads anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that's my snarky moment for, okay. But my doctor is being a gem. She is totally backing me up and on board with helping me get through this. So the fact that she thinks, you know, she's like, why wasn't this titrated? I don't know, Chris. I don't know. So we're going to get that off. We're going to get it figured out because I figure out things all the time and I will make this work. I've actually thought, I kid you not, I have actually considered hooking that thing up and sitting here for 4 hours before bed every night. That's what I have to use. I have to use it for 4 hours a night. I think it was 4 or 4.5. 4 hours a night to be compliant. I've considered, seriously, sitting in this chair with that thing hooked up to my face, awake, reading, knitting, whatever, to try to be compliant. If I can't get it figured out, my life will come to a screaming halt as I suck 4 hours out of my day in order to become compliant prior to surgery. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so the woman I watch on TikTok, who I just adore, literally, I messaged her and told her about the, because Phil wasn't home when I got the call. I messaged her and I said, I'm telling you before my husband even knows I got my date. Yes. But she just went in for the breast reduction surgery, right? And, you know, it takes a while after that with stitches and stuff before you're back to normal. She did a video today where she showed a pajama top that she wore to her surgery. Now, she did her surgery out of country. But she showed it, and I mean, the thing's just huge around her, right? But I did notice, because one of the things I'm paying attention to is skin. Because a lot of people have a lot of skin. And let me tell you, okay, this is not something I normally show off for people because I hate it today. So I can only imagine how much fun it's going to be tomorrow, right? But you guys know, right? T-shirts. You know about the bat wings, don't you? You know about the bat wings, right? Okay, so I've got some, wow, I mean, that's some bat wings right there. And you know when I notice them the most? When I'm in the car and I see them in the rear view mirror, in the side mirrors. So I want to start working on some exercises specifically for that. But I was really impressed that her legs didn't have a lot of hanging loose skin. And I'm not sure about her stomach because she didn't show it, but I know that's going to be there, you know. But I want to start working on different things for my skin. Now, one of the things, I think I mentioned it here before, that I did do, that I purchased for myself to make it work. And it's fun. I catch myself giggling while I'm doing it. It's exactly that much fun, okay? I got myself an Oculus. I'll put a link down below. It's a virtual reality thing, right? You put it on and you strap it to your head, and it has handles. It's kind of like a video game. There are video games on there. But then I also got myself a subscription to this thing called Supernatural. And it's a workout thing, right? So you're using your hands with these controllers in them and the mask, and you have to do it inside because it doesn't work outside with the light. So you have to have some room, pardon me, and you use your things. They're like lightsabers from Star Wars, right? And you use your hands, and you're batting and you're whopping and you know whatnot, these orbs that come at you, and you have to do certain directions depending on how they're pointing. And they also have boxing, which is super cool. And I just giggle like an idiot. I love the music. I have fun with it. And you sweat. Oh my gosh, do you sweat? So I haven't been doing it lately because my dining room's kind of taken over by my job at the moment. But so I need to push the table out of the way and get back to it. And somebody reminded me of that today. But I am looking forward to getting back to it and to working out with it. It's an amazing workout, and wow, do you get sore. So I'm going to be looking specifically for arm, stomach, and leg, routines so that I can kind of rotate through those and give them some focus because while I fully anticipate having them, I'm not really stoked about having them. So if I can combat that at all at 56, if there's any elasticity left in my skin, then I'm going to, because I want to be as healthy as I possibly can. I'm I'm just so super stoked about this. I really am. And I know Phil is too. I know he is too. He's like, hey, next year you're not gonna have any problems with this. And I'm like, I know. First we have to get through sleep apnea. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not gonna have any problems with this. It's gonna be great. And we're gonna have, we've always said we're gonna go together. There's no one's leaving anybody behind. Sorry, we're going together. And he is 7 years older than me, so I told him that, I'm planning on living till 80, so that means you have to live till you're 87. So let's map this out, okay? We have to figure this out. But yeah, we're going to have fun no matter what. And I'm going to be thinner because I'm not kidding you. One of my fears, we were watching Chicago Fire, and I know we're binge watched like the whole series. And one of the things that I noticed is that, rescue personnel have to carry out, people that they're rescuing or people that need help. And I'm like, these poor souls couldn't lift me if they wanted to. It would take like 4 to 6 of them, So I'm like, I have to do something so that if they have to rescue me, it's actually a doable thing. I don't need to be rescued right now. I don't want to be rescued, but it's all good. We're getting there. We're working towards it. So if any of you are supernatural people, let me know down below. Let's connect on supernatural. Pardon me, and see what kind of trouble we can get into. Sitting in this chair makes me feel like I'm ruffled, frumpy, wearing a t-shirt I slept in, which I'm not. I would love to connect with some more people that are using this to work out and to do different things. Maybe it would be really cool to connect on that for getting together virtually for virtual in-person meetings and discussions and support groups, right? I'll put a link down below, but seriously, it's not super cheap, But I think it's a worthwhile investment. And you need, I think if you're going to do Supernatural, which is an annual subscription, I think Supernatural, in order to do the workouts, you need like, I think it's a 5-foot square around you of empty space for reach and, to be safe. Uh, but if you're interested in it, check it out. It's so much fun. It is so much fun. Let's talk about food for a minute. And I'm sorry, I'm very uh, sinusy because this weather keeps flipping around. So I apologize for the coughing. But now let's talk about food for a hot minute. In preparation for this, I have not had time to put up as much bone broth as I wanted. So I added to my cart for my Walmart pickup order some commercially made bone broth, both beef and chicken broth, bone broth. Anyway, and we have tons of Jello, so I'm good there. But I'm not certain, and I have a bunch of Premier proteins, which somebody mentioned, I don't want to use a lot of them, but I am keeping them around for the time being. My goal is to be primarily real food, but I know for the getting ready and the immediately afterward and during the soft food phase that I'm going to need something to kind of boost up my protein intake and to help. So they're going to be around for that. And I figure by the time I'm done with those phases, I'm going to be pretty tired of them. So we'll see. Phil tried one the other day. He goes, "Are those banana ones any good?" And I said, "Yeah, they're good. They're kind of like a liquid banana taffy. Remember those Laffy Taffies?" Which again makes me concerned. But anyway, food. Don't go all crazy on me, Lisa. Stick to the subject. So I'm looking at foods. And so for those of you that have had the diet or the surgery, what I'm looking for is your favorite meal option. Because the meals are super small. So I want to make it worth it when I do it. Because it's not like you get a do-over, you can stuff more in your face, right? So what I would like is, what are your easy go-tos? I did order Dash, the ones that make the little waffle makers. They had one where it had 4 little cups in there that you could cook eggs in. I don't remember the term it used, but it's coming in. And I got it for that because I know I'm going to be eating a lot of eggs, which is really good because we have 50 new chickens, and shortly after the surgery, we're going to be getting about 2 dozen eggs a day. I'm golden, okay? But I want something that I can make a few of so that they're quick and easy and I don't have to worry about it. I'm looking for taste. I'm looking for, convenience also, but using as much real food as possible. So what were your go-tos after your surgery? And if anybody has any suggested go-tos for the soft food phase, I would love to hear those too. So that is my question of the week. What are your go-tos after surgery for your food? That is real food. That is, I don't care if it's commercial or not, just not protein drinks, that kind of thing, but real honest to goodness food. And next week I am going to focus on transfer addiction. I want to talk some about transfer addiction, but that's for next week. So this week, I appreciate you being here and listening. If you have any suggestions or advice regarding the APAP machine and how I can super glue that thing to my face, and tips and tricks for getting past being able to breathe with it, I'm ready to put ice cubes into the tube itself. I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. I'm not. And then favorite foods for after surgery, because I think that's going to be remarkably helpful. Okay, everybody. Oh, and I just realized that I had an email address associated with this, which I should have known, but I didn't. And I didn't realize that I was getting emails. So if you email lisaslosingit@gmail.com, I will make an effort to check that email box like once a week. And I appreciate you doing that for me. So thank you very, very much. And if you have any specific recipes you want to email me, that would be great too. Okay, everybody. until next week, Lisa's losing it one way or another.